New QB rankings from Jeff Howe in The Athletic. One rival executive. At this, now we're doing anonymous compliments.
Yeah, I know.
Just enough.
That's how you get the truth.
Compliments?
I'm just saying.
Sorry, I didn't even read it yet.
Sorry, go ahead and read it.
He's a killer. His toughness and makeup are so underrated. We concern ourselves so much about arm talent and then just completely underrate the intangibles at the position. From an anonymous executive.
Yeah, because he doesn't want people to hear
Well,
it.
right. It's people in the league who's criticizing.
I guess so. Is anyone buying that Jalen Hurts is now underrated?
At this point, I think it's possible the pendulum has swung a bit too far in the other direction.
To where he's overrated?
Well, we were on Thursday and Friday of last week, Wilds was kicking around the conversation of just wanting to have the conversation, is he the best quarterback in football? And when I totally agree with the idea that it is a fool's errand to simply measure quarterbacks by how well they throw the football. I think that is, for most quarterbacks, the most important thing they do, but not for all. And I think there's a lot more to playing the position and winning than just that. And Hurts gets somewhere from an A to an A triple plus in basically every category but that one. Mm-hmm. But when that one, at least this year, has been as anemic as it's been, and it's not like last year where, well, the team's beating everyone by 30 and Saquon's, running for 2,000 yards, then I don't think through 2 weeks his standing should have improved. You know what I mean? And so when we can put up the passing charts and then his season numbers, again, like that, there's week one. It's a bunch of nothing, and then the pass to, was it Dotson? And then the one deep down the field. Week two was somehow worse. Really a bunch of nothing, and then the one pass to Devontae. And then his passing numbers, coach, are what they are as far as league ranks. I mean, again, if you are ranking him saying, and so this is why he's the 15th best quarterback, then yeah, he's way underrated. But I think his general ranking is about 8th. You know what I mean? And I think that's probably
some might
about.
Even have him higher.
Yeah, some might have him higher, but Wilds finds people who have him lower. So that's why I said, you know what I mean? Sure. To me, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't know if that's totally a compliment.
What?
The sitting
From
there
the
saying,
anonymous executive?
yeah, he's completely underrated for his intangibles. Yeah, but and people overrate arm talent. So you're essentially saying, yeah, he's got great intangibles. He's not that guy. Not great skill, not great ability as a passer.
Yeah.
But he is underrated from an intangible perspective. Or I think more people are. I don't even know if he's even underrated there because people respect that part of his game so much. But the flip side of that is he's essentially saying, yeah, the arm talent part's not where you'd want it to be. And when you look at his numbers, and I know Kevin loves when I bring this up, but now we're at 17 games. We're in the last 17 games that they've won. He's thrown the ball more than 30 times once. Okay, yeah. So it's 7. Yeah. So there's a formula, and the formula isn't with him as being an elite passer. So as long as they can keep this running game intact and this defensive formula intact, and he's willing to manage it and not be caught up in trying to prove everybody wrong, then it's great. But I don't know if that's as nice a compliment as maybe it's poor.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's properly rated. Like, he's generally viewed as a top 10 quarterback. Mm-hmm. A couple years ago, he was second in the MVP race. So that's pretty high praise, coming from the media. And I think for those that want to, complain, oh, nobody loves Jay, nobody thinks he's as good as he is. The reason is because, the reason he's not viewed like Lamar, Josh, Patrick, and Joe Burrow is because he doesn't put up the numbers. Like, he's never thrown for 4,000 yards. He's never thrown 25 touchdowns in a year. He's never averaged 250 yards in a game, for a season. He's never had a passer rating of even 105. Like, he hasn't put up the numbers. And even though he's a dual threat quarterback, and a very good runner. He's not Josh or Lamar
as far as
running the
prolific,
football.
yeah.
Most of his running touchdowns are the tush push. And so I think he's great with the intangibles, which I measure highly, because if you look at like Brady and Joe Montana, these guys, their intangibles are off the charts. Most of the best quarterbacks. And so I think that's very important. But I think he's properly rated.
If you inserted Lamar or Josh or Joe in let's see, Tennessee, they're probably going to dramatically change that organization. If you insert Jalen there, is he going to have that same impact, or is it going to have to be an impact that's felt 3 or 4 years down the road when they build up the defense and the running game? You put Lamar there, things change immediately. You put Josh there, things change immediately. You put, Jalen there, they?
So do you think that's fair, KW?
I can never tell, because I don't think it's coming from a disingenuous place as like a thought exercise, and I like thought exercises. And I kind of agree with it. I feel like if you put Lamar on the team, and Lamar will be dynamic wherever, and it's very LeBron-esque. Like LeBron will make put LeBron, prime LeBron anywhere, and that team is good. At the same time, I don't think Jalen Hurts should be penalized for finding a system that works and making that system work to its utmost potential. I also sometimes...
No, he should be credited for that, and credited for having enough selflessness to be able to maintain that mentality.
And then the other thing that I wonder is when we do the old switcheroo of quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts never gets to go to any of these other teams. It's like, man, put Lamar on the Eagles and watch what happens. It'd be the same thing. I'm like, can I play the game of put Jalen Hurts on the Ravens?
Well, Lamar does have
you could
see how those playoff games
so
it wouldn't be as good.
So that,
you don't think the Ravens? I don't think he's as good as Lamar, but I think the Ravens.
Oh,
would be good.
so that's interesting, because when Wild says see how those playoff games go, because when Coach said it, something kind of clicked in my brain, which is the greatest of the great players across sports drastically raise your floor and your ceiling.
Yeah.
Right? So when you mentioned like peak LeBron, take the worst team in the league, get them playoffs, and you put them on an excellent team, they're going to win the championship, whatever it is. You're talking about, I'm going to use Josh and Lamar specifically, as automatic floor raisers. You know what I mean? Drop them on a team and that team's life changes. What I think Wilds has credited Jalen as is a ceiling raiser.
Yeah.
And a guy that, because he's clutch, he plays his best in big spots, and you don't have to change. You don't have to placate almost his ego in how you call a game. If you have a great team that, doesn't need to pass first, you can be like, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. And so while I agree that the Ravens would not be the Ravens if with Jalen as Lamar, what they've been in these regular seasons over the course of the last few years, I think that awesome team they had 2 years ago that had hosted the AFC Championship game against Kansas City, I think that team might have had more success in that game with Jalen. And so that part I do think is, but would they have hosted the game with him? I understand that. And
but that's what's always confused me about a guy like Matthew Stafford, who I think is an outstanding quarterback, but for all those years in Detroit, he didn't have the impact on the organization that I would have expected to have with his ability.
Agreed.
So are we in unison? Jalen Hurts properly rated?
Properly rated as a top 5 quarterback.
Well, it's fluid. Everybody knows that. It's fluid.
No, it's a little battlefield promotion with Burrow. Definitely top. We're talking Mount Rushmore right now. Raiders dropped to 1-1. Geno threw the ball 40 times to the Raiders, 3 times to the Chargers, 180 yards total. Here he was after the game.
Those are things that I got to learn from and be better at. Anything that doesn't look right out there, you put that on my feet, put that on my shoulders. I feel like I got to be a lot better for our guys. I know I have to, and I will be.
Is it time, Nick, for you to abandon your adopted Raiders?
All right, let me say something. Hubs, our great executive producer, picked this question. He's a little rusty on questions. This is one of the dumbest questions we've asked.
Okay.
Really?
When I picked them to make the playoffs, I thought through 2 games they'd be 1-1. It's not like this has been some massive disappointment of a start of a season for the Raiders. This was an awful game from Geno. Like, there's no way around it. And one of the reasons that Geno is, you know, in my opinion, right in that top 10 discussion like we've talked about, but not firmly in there, is somewhere from like 9 to 12, is because his bad games. What do you?
Coach and I are looking at. I don't think Geno's in that.
No, I've said that. I've said
12.
No. I'm saying for me.
Top 15.
Okay. That's. But I'm saying I wasn't saying universally regarded. I'm saying for me. But what is preventing him from being firmly, clearly a top 10 quarterback is his bad games can be really bad, and this was one of the worst games he's played. The thing that happened yesterday, though, that was to me the most concerning was not Geno related, because I don't think he's going to play like this moving forward. It's the fact that the Raiders seem to be calling their plays like somebody else drafted a running back 6 overall. You know what I mean? Like, that's the part. He had 11 carries. He never gets the ball on back-to-back downs. And I understand he right now, Coach, is a problem in pass protection. But, and I know you talked about him catching the ball. But let me.
I thought he was Earl.
But hold on. Let me ask you this question.
What's his rushing at?
No. Yesterday he was good. The first game they won, he was not good that first game. But yesterday, hold on. Let me ask you a question. If you spend the 6th pick of the draft on a guy because he is a brilliant natural runner, there's an element of we don't care if us having him on the field signals we're running the ball. If we're running the ball, we're not giving it to Zamir White in 3rd and 2. We're giving it to the guy we picked 6th overall. Yeah. So that part, to me, he wasn't very good in game 1. Game 2, he was good running the ball, and he never got the ball.
I mean, he had 11 attempts for 43 yards,
Yeah.
so he had 3.9.
That's not great.
No, it's better than what they were getting from anyone else yesterday.
Look, I do agree, Nick. I think what would help Geno a lot is if they could get the running game going. And I think if you do spend those types of resources on getting a running back, you should probably give him more than 11 attempts.
Thank you.
And maybe he's the type of guy that as the attempts increase, his production will increase. And he has shown the ability to break away, definitely in college. It just hasn't hit yet. And for Geno to be successful, they're going to have to establish a much stronger running game because it's just not going to work this way.
The Raiders are what I thought they were.
It's only 2 games for them.
That's what they are. They're certainly not one of the best 2 teams in the division. We'll see who's better between them and Denver. And, you know, Pete Carroll, I think he knows how to handle running back, a great running back. He had Marshawn Lynch. So I like Genty, but, you know, I didn't think he was going to come and take the lead by storm.
In a spot.
That's a big game.
Yeah, where it looks like Jaden might not be playing.
Beat up Commander.
Right. And that would actually put him ahead of my schedule. You know what I mean? Like, you'd be the Commander in the Chargers. We can't 30 minutes ago be talking about how the Chargers how great the Chargers defense is, in my opinion, and then kill Genty for only getting 40 yards on limited touches. Like that, you know what I mean? Like, game 1, Genty wasn't good. I would just expect them to feed him.
2 worst running teams in the league. Bengals are last. Raiders are 2nd to last.
Yeah.
124 total yards on the ground. Not good.
Yeah.
Glad we got Jersey Mike's for the game.